Welcome to Roblox in 2026 Roblox anime games. Whatever the route the title goes down, you kind of get the gist of it. Now, today isn't the same as what we usually do yearly, where we talk about the following year of Roblox, whether it includes how Roblox has been during that current year, or whether it includes new games coming during the next year. I don't actually think new games coming in 2026 matters too much. Now, just giving you guys a brief overview. If you remember in 2023, we can really start back at 2021, but for the sake of giving everybody grace, I won't. So 2023 is when we actually got the announcements in public, like announcements of a lot of games, a lot of them. Not just the main 2 or 3 like Revolveragz, Revolveragz, and like Pocket Anime, but we've gotten a lot. Things like Sinborn, etc. We got a lot of games. I could really just go back to all my old videos for reference and start putting games on blast, but we just won't do that. Okay, we won't do that. And 2024 was the year most of these games were meant to come out, and a lot of these games are high quality. It's not like, oh, this is just some Roblox anime One Piece game that's gonna be like pixel piece. It's not like this is a pixel piece situation, right? A lot of these games are high quality, and to that aspect, you can genuinely argue it takes time to make good games. Whatever, we're way beyond giving anybody grace or excuses. We're way beyond that, if we want to be honest here. And 2024 was the year most of these games were meant to release, right? And everybody was excited for the year of 2020. 2024 had a long lineup of games that were powerhouses. I'm talking about would have elevated the Roblox anime community stock prices to the moon. To the moon. Let's be quite honest, to the moon. We had a lot of powerhouse developers making some powerhouse games. And to no avail, those games got delayed, right? And you know what? The delay in 2024 was upsetting to me, to most other creators, to 100% of the Roblox anime community members, right? But a lot of people understood the 2024 delay. We understood it, right? So most of us came into 2025 hype, which is why it got the name the golden year of Roblox. The golden year, the golden age. You guys know how it went, especially like catered towards Revolveragz. And it wasn't, I do want to specify again, right? The golden age of Roblox wasn't specified to make Revolveragz look like it was the golden age. I want to say this again. Revolveragz isn't the golden age. Revolveragz was more of the catalyst of the golden age. Revolveragz's release would have, you know, just given developers like an insight to what a in-depth immersive Roblox game looks like. We're not even just talking about anime here, we're talking about Roblox in general, right? This is more of that older-ish community. So Revolveragz was the catalyst for that, and from there you would developers take inspiration from other games. If Revolveragz is doing powerhouse numbers, it's gonna motivate the developers on the platform that may already have powerhouse games or may not have powerhouse games to create a real immersive Roblox experience. Now, Revolveragz hasn't confirmed any delays, nor has games like Revolveragz and other games, right? However, we are in November. This week will be over very quick. We are in November. You can argue end of this week, start of next week, we're already midway through November. You can argue, right? November is gonna go by very quick, just in case anyone doesn't know. Next week's already mid-November, right? And things have been overly quiet. And you guys know how serious this is because this is me raw speaking. My voice isn't raised. I'm not making any sarcastic remarks. There's no trolling. This is genuine. Yo, this is Roblox. Now, 2026 is the last year. 2026 is genuinely the last year. Before I dive into that, I will also say for the year of 2025, everything's delayed. Now, the difference between the 2024 delay and the delays of 2025 is 2025 was actually meant to be the year these games released. Most of the developers for these games have confirmed, or they said publicly. See, now one thing I definitely need to learn to stop saying is confirmed, because even if owner of the game, the guy that made the game from the ground up, says we are releasing, even if they say it public, that doesn't actually mean anything. We have not, okay, I have now learned. We have now learned. I want to say we, but I don't want to speak for other people. But I don't want to specifically speak for myself either. I mean, I can, because I can only speak for myself. But I do want to say we, because I feel like we've learned this in real time together. We have learned that words don't actually mean anything anymore. And that is a problem, because developers may not realize it or not, once that trust value goes down, it will and can affect the game. Now, if your game's of a very, very, very high caliber, maybe not really. People are able to look past a lot of things on this Roblox platform, as we've learned the hard way through games like Type Soul. People will turn the other cheek and just let bygone be bygone, no matter how bad. Whether you can legitimately scam your community. If your game is good enough or satisfies your, not even your audience, the audience well enough, people will literally let you get away with scamming them, quite literally. Right now, Type Soul is dead / dying now, but that is the result of the game just not living up to what it should be. It has nothing to do with the developers scamming and being bad people, to say that. Right, so 2025, everything's delayed. Whether it's the fact that a lot of things haven't come to play yet. We haven't gotten a lot of things, which I won't specify because I don't want to specifically speak on any game in this video. Not yet, at least. So this was a very long intro. Expect 90% of the games, okay, you guys are probably gonna say we already know this, but 90% of the games you're expected to come out this year are not going to actually come out this year. 90% of them. Now, going into 2026, let's start the 2026 convo here. I'll probably put timestamps for this part. Going into 2026, I just want to quickly say this is probably the most serious I've been in a video in quite a while. But going into 2026, it's gonna be pretty scary. Now, we do know a lot of games have been delayed towards 2026. Some of them have spoke publicly about it, most of them haven't. 2026 is the final year, and not only there's a lot happening in 2026 in terms of entertainment, movies, video games outside of the Roblox platform, and video games inside of the Roblox. Talking specifically about Roblox, there are catalysts that are going to happen, and I'm gonna actually pinpoint every single catalyst and speak about them. But before we do that, I do want to say 2026 again is the final year. Maybe not for you guys, but for me, for sure. 2025 was the biggest waiting simulator, and I've made a whole video about this. 2025 was the biggest waiting simulator. Yeah, I think Soul's RNG, but IRL, in real life, was what Roblox 2025 felt like. Literally a big do nothing burger. And you can say if a game isn't ready, obviously we're not going to release it, which makes a lot of sense. However, some of these games have been in development since 2021. Some of these games have been in development longer than most AAA games. I can argue these guys have massive studios, blah blah blah. Let's just not give anybody any more excuses. Let's not give anybody any more excuses. It's done. If 2026 happens and nothing actually, if we have to wait until next fall or next winter for anything to happen in 2026, I kid you guys not, it'll be the last time you hear from me. This channel will no longer have uploads. Chat, I'm not joking. I have so many options to pursue outside of YouTube, to the point it's not even funny. This was a childhood dream, and it's been amazing. Genuinely, I've been able to travel to a lot of countries because of YouTube. I've got to link up with fellow content creators in real life because of YouTube. So it's been a blessing for sure. But am I going to do another year of waiting around? No, definitely not. And I don't need to, literally. So there's no reason for me to sit around waiting for specific games to release. And the issue with that is you guys can argue, just take this stuff off of Roblox and, you know, go the normal game route. Roblox is the best platform for gaming in the world. You guys, I feel like a lot of people underestimate underestimate not only the amount of money that flows through Roblox, the Roblox anime community, just Roblox in general. We're talking multi-millions of dollars worth of dollars flowing through the Roblox community, but also the caliber of game, the caliber of video games does not match. And I'm talking about Roblox anime games make AAA games look like slop. Now you guys are looking on the Roblox platform and looking like games like Blocks Fruits and saying, Revolver, what are you talking about? No over exaggeration. There are games in development right now. I'm not going to say any specific name, but there are a lot of games in development right now that blow the waters out of AAA games. Roblox anime community has so much has so much potential, but the issue is potential man is literally just that, potential man. Now again, the golden age, Revolveragz being the catalyst. Revolveragz is a catalyst for a reason, because it is that game. Now there are a lot of other games that follow suit right next to it. However, Revolveragz is most definitely that catalyst. Is that me putting pressure on the Rel brothers? No, they are grown men and they know what they're working with. They promoted it to be that. That's the reason why everybody has these hopes and dreams of what Revolveragz can be. Now some people probably over exaggerate Revolveragz in their heads, but I know exactly what I'm looking at and I'm not over speculating. Now let me stop yapping. Let's actually talk about the catalysts, and each of these catalysts need to happen. If one catalyst doesn't happen, it's not really an issue, but if these catalysts don't happen, 2026 Roblox is over. Now don't take all of these catalysts to heart, because what tends to happen in the Roblox community is developers will be working on games and completely gatekeep it until it's in a state where it's ready to be seen to the public. A lot of the times, I feel like a lot of developers do this in a completely wrong fashion. You're gonna now come public with your game and you've been working on it for 2 years behind the scene. Don't go public about your game and the game is nowhere near ready for completion. That's so stupid, I'm not gonna lie. But what tends to happen sometimes is developers will be working on a game behind the scenes and just throw it out into the open for the public to see out of nowhere. So that can happen even in 2025. There are a lot of games that you guys don't know about that aren't public yet that I'll probably be speaking about within the next month or two. I said or two, within this month or the next. And yeah, that's it. Let's get into these catalysts. Okay, so let's get into the catalysts. Now to re-emphasize, not all of these catalysts need to happen. One or the other can happen, and these are more kind of like checkpoints for me. I know if any of these do or don't happen, it will definitely affect whether I stay on this platform or not. As well as that, it's definitely going to shape how the community takes games in the future, because you're already starting to see the fatigue that players that have been waiting for good games are feeling. Now I feel like people aren't actually experiencing this fatigue if they're like into the battlegrounds communities and whatever the case may be, because they actually actively have games to play. But if you're not like a preschooler and role playing in the AFK battlegrounds game doesn't satisfy you for any longer than an hour, you're pretty fatigued and worn out. So let's get into the first catalyst, the death of CC game. Now a lot of people are already kind of tired of closed community games. So when I say CC, I'm definitely talking about closed community, and closed community is genuinely kind of lackluster in a lot of sense, because it doesn't actually allow a majority of the player base to play the game. Closed community is literally that, closed community. Now there are a very niche handful of people that genuinely enjoy closed community for what it is, whether it's strong sense of community or just the fact that they get to role play with their friends and people they've been talking to on Discord for years, which is let's move over that. However, if you're actually a gamer, like, closed community isn't actually that entertaining. Everything is kind of designed or designated for a certain group of people to just be a little bit better than everyone else. There's no real freedom, and you end up running into the same players every 2 seconds. It's not spontaneous. It's not that entertaining in my opinion, and it can be kind of boring. Now, a lot of closed community games literally just do the closed community stuff to see how their game fares in a realistic scenario. A lot of people use closed community as a way of doing closed testing to see if their game holds up in an environment where people are actively playing their game. And I'm sure there's a list of other reasons why a lot of developers go into a closed community state before they release their game to the public. But a lot of games just either never release their game to the public or just stay CC forever. However, in this instance, we're just talking about closed community. It doesn't really matter if your game's going to release to the public in a couple months or not. Closed community games, I think we need to nip that in the bud and completely call it. Eventually, now it's good because people see closed community and say, you know what, I have nothing better to do. I'm going to give this game a chance. I'm going to try get into the closed community phase. However, eventually it's going to get to a point where there's going to be enough games on the platform, hopefully in 2026 at a certain point, there's going to be enough games on the platform to where people are going to say we're releasing for closed community and people just completely ignore it. Just roll their eyes and completely walk the other direction. Right now we don't have that luxury to do that because there are no games, so everyone's grasping at straws. I think the death of CC games will definitely start to occur in 2026. And a lot of these CC games anyways have been delaying even starting closed community. Let's move on. The next catalyst is FOYU's hidden project. Now at some point in 2026, FOYU may or may not actually showcase, make public, announce whatever new game he is working on, whether that's a GPO 2 or a Sword Art Online, Grand Sword Art Online, or whatever the case may be, whatever project. It is rumored that FOYU is working, well, not rumored, he said it himself, he is working on another project. And there have been some admins and mods and devs within the GPO server that have not confirmed it but have hinted at it as well. So FOYU's hidden project, I think FOYU's hidden project, if he decides to announce it in 2026, is and will be a big deal. We do know FOYU is capable of producing good games. GPO at its core is a good game, regardless of what it is right now. At its core, it is a good game. We do know FOYU is capable. Whatever he's working on, if he does decide to announce it in 2026, it is going to be a big deal. A big deal. Let's actually have our fingers crossed that he's actually working on an entertaining game. Let's not make GPO 2. I really do hope it's not GPO 2. I really pray it's not GPO 2. Oh my god. I'm gonna put these in the same category. The next catalyst, Revolveragz and Revolveragz release. Now, we haven't actually heard anything from Revolveragz, and Revolveragz was meant to be getting multiple movies before the release. We've only got movie 1 and we are in November. I don't see how we're gonna get multiple movies by the end of the year. Testing hasn't started as well, or any announcement towards testing hasn't started yet, so I don't know. I'm just not sure how we're gonna get Revolveragz this year. I don't know. I don't see it. There's not enough time left. When is testing gonna start? Are the movies, the movies take a while to film and edit. Are we gonna get multiple movies within the next month? I just don't see it happening. So I am expecting a Revolveragz delay. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, right? And then Revolveragz, again, hasn't been announced that there is a delay at all. However, we haven't gotten movie 3. We haven't even gotten like an announcement for movie 3 or anything that says movie 3 is being worked on. And again, it takes a while to record and then to edit. And this week is, we're already midway through the week. We're on Tuesday. This video is coming out late. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Guys, I just don't see it. Okay, I'm sorry. November's gonna go by very quick. I just don't see us getting movie 3. And CC needs to be at least a week or 2 long, right? So you would need at least 2 to 3 weeks between movie movie free's creation and making it public, publishing it, and starting and finishing CC. You would need at least 2 to 3 weeks for both of those things to happen. If we haven't gotten an announcement or a teaser or a snippet or a sneak of anything this week, that would mean mid-November. Yeah, I just don't see it. The time frames aren't really aligning. Not only does movie free and CC have to start at some point testing as well for gold and silver. And then RLC's most like, again, this is all speculation, right? These are catalysts. RLC's is definitely RLC's and Revolveragz. I'm predicting is going to be a 2026 release. Now, these games releasing at any point, whether it's 2025 or 2026, is a big deal, and it's gonna set things in motion. Now, I think once these games releases, Revolveragz and RLC's, the death of CC games will occur. It will occur. It just naturally, right? So a lot of these CC games, if they don't actually start the public phases, whether it's paid access or open free access, CC games are going to completely die out because there's going to be no reason to play it, right? Pocket Anime's return is another thing. Pocket Anime's return. So Pocket Anime was meant to start phase 2 at some point this year. It is possible we still get it because we still have December. They don't show sneaks, they don't say anything, announcements. However, there's nothing that's meant to happen before phase 2 can actually start, right? It's not like they need to put out a movie or a trailer, or they need to start public testing or any of that sort. Phase 2 is testing. So Pocket Anime's return, that can still happen this year. That one's a coin flip. That's a 50-50. The next catalyst is delayed games actually releasing. Now, there are a lot of delayed games, a lot of them, and we're not actually going to get into naming any of them because, you know, that's a whole video within itself. Delayed games actually releasing. None of the delayed games are releasing this year, that's for sure. Delayed games releasing in 2026 is a huge deal, a big catalyst event. Now, even if RLC's and Revolveragz releases before these delayed games actually releasing, it shouldn't affect the delayed games too much. Giving players more options to play is never a bad thing. If they release before Revolveragz and RLC's, will their numbers be higher? For sure. However, delayed games releasing will satisfy most people and will give people the option to actually move and not be stuck to one game like glue. And the last catalyst is hidden games coming to the light. Now, there are a lot of games in development that nobody knows about. There are some I know about, but there are a lot that I don't know about happening behind the scenes that are meant to be releasing next year. Now, easily those games can't be delayed because nobody knows about them. But these hidden games coming to the light, some of them I know about, some of them I don't. The ones I do know about are actually really nice. From what I've seen, do look really nice. And if they actually have anything of substance within them, they actually have playable content, meaningful content, and not just 1 hour worth of gameplay, this could be a huge deal within itself. Now, with each of those catalysts, I do think that all of them are important for sure. They all correlate to each other and connect to each other in some way, shape, or form. However, the main catalysts, RLC's and Revolveragz, if those don't happen, 2026 is done for. There are a lot of delayed games that are most likely not even going to come out next year as well. So the delayed games actually releasing, that one is very shaky. Death of CC games, that one is inevitable. It's gonna happen at some point. CC games most of them don't last long anyways, right? For you's hidden project, coin flip. For you could announce it in 2026, couldn't announce it in 2026. Pocket Anime's return, again, another coin flip. The one that really matters the most, again, is Revolveragz and RLC's. If those don't happen, Roblox 2026, Roblox Anime 2026 is done for. If that doesn't happen, honestly. So honestly, Roblox is a ticking time bomb at the point. Ticking time bomb could be a good or bad thing. Whether that bomb explodes and helps the platform flourish, or explodes and just makes the platform drier than it already is. It's definitely up to the... Anyways, thank you for listening to my yap sesh. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.